Welcome back to another lesson of MySQL. In this lesson, we are going to learn about how we are going to start practical MySQL. Well, as it is sequential, we are going to start off with how we will be able to install it and where from we are going to install our software. So there are a couple of things which we have to download. There are two types of softwares which we have to download over to use MySQL. So MySQL is going to help you with forming up the database and also do all the queries because all of this is sequential. So we are going to use another, software, which is PopSQL, which is going to help us to which server we are going to run our SQL queries and all of the database so that we can store it and use it for later purpose. So there are like a couple of things you have to keep in mind. And obviously MySQL, the structure is a bit complex, but just like we did on our PHP, well, in PHP, we ran our server like through CMD and also our WAMP server, because that is how you'll be able to write in PHP and also make it visible on your screen on your web browser. So like it's similar that if you are trying to type in MySQL or like MySQL, well, and actually apply it directly on your web browser and show it on your web browser, that means that you need a different type of server to run it. And that is why we are going to use MySQL and also PopSQL. So those are two different things, okay? But it's going to offer the same service so that it is appearing on your screen. So let's start off with installing MySQL. So for when you are using like Windows, just type in MySQL, download, hit on enter, and you can see mysql.com will open up. Click on mysql.com and here you will find out MySQL development issues or developer issues, and you can also build applications through this. Well, this is all related to PHP and also your web browser, so thus it means you have to download it so that it is visible on your screen on your web browser so that you can run in the queries. So from here, what we're going to do is going to be going down, and after you go down, you will find these options of MySQL community and all of those. You'll be able to go to the download page where you'll be able to download MySQL. So now you can see on this page, we have our download link where you'll be able to download MySQL. Now you can see that if you have a 64-bit PC, then click on this download option. And if you have x80, like 86 and 64-bit zip archive with debug, binaries, and test suite, then you can download this one. Well, obviously you can see the difference of the size of this. So as I only need the zip archive, so I'm going to click on download, and you will see that another tab will open up, or it will directly download from over here. But as I have already downloaded MySQL, so I'm going to be showing you how you will be able to use it without any further problems. But before that, if you are not logged in on MySQL and if you don't have an Oracle account, then you might have to log in with Oracle or sign up and then show it later on, and also like use it for downloads, because all of the server process goes through Oracle. Okay, so that is kind of like a server which is run by MySQL and also PHP. And just like I told you, PHP and the whole document goes through MySQL, this Apache server, and also shows you on your web browser. So after it is downloaded, I'm going to do is install it. Or another method of how you'll be able to download MySQL is through this option. What you're going to do is when you see this page, just click on this go to download page and select on the one which you want, just like I told you. So let's say I'm going to download this 32-bit one because we don't have a 64-bit option. You can select on whichever OS you're running it. So let's say I'm going to do is click on the installer and download it. And you can see that MySQL is installed. So I'm going to do is open it up and install it on my PC so that I can use MySQL without any problems. Then you will see that the pop-up something like this will appear up. And then what you're going to do is do a couple of modifications so that you can get the full functionality and full potential of MySQL on your PC. Now you can see that I have my installation like server or installation pack opened. Now what you're going to do first is that select the suite which you are going to use. So I'm going to suggest you to use the developer default because you are going to get all of the default options through this. But if you want to do it like with some specific motivations and specific purpose, You can also use it with server, you can use clients, then use full, and then if you want to do it custom, you can also use the custom option, which is going to help you with a lot of things. So here I'm going to do is click on custom, click on next, then you can see that this option appears up. From here, what you're going to do is extend this MySQL server, and from there I'm going to do is extend this one too, and select the server or select the version you want to use. So I'm going to use the latest version, and then you will be like see that there are a lot of these options. So now I'm going to do is open it up again, and here in my application, what I'm going to do is select on the 64-bit version. First off, I'm going to do is click on this application, extend it a bit more. Then what you're going to do is click on the shell, which is over here, MySQL shell, extend it a bit. And from there, you will find this option of this like MySQL shell 8.0, which is kind of like the newest one. So I'm going to extend it a bit more too. And then you will find out the 64-bit version over there. And you can see all of them are over here. So I'm going to do is select on each and every one. And how you'll be able to select that is going to be a bit different. First, I'm going to do is select on this option. From there, I'm going to select on the 64. Then put it on this side. You can see all of them has been selected. Then from application, I'm going to do the same thing. Click on the 64-bit, move it over there too, and now you have like mostly all the things which you need to work with MySQL. Then what you're going to do is press on next, and you can see that both of them are ready to download. And after they are downloaded, what I'm going to do is see if these are the server and also the shell. Make sure to use the newest version of each and every one and all of the categories. And after those are complete, just press on next or execute. And before that, you can also select the product again, get back over here and select whichever filter you want to use. If you want to use a different type of filter, that's like totally up to you. But from here, I'm going to suggest you to use any. So you can see that on default, it will be like this. So click on this enable the select feature page to customize product feature and click on next. And then what you're going to do is select on them, which are like ready to download, and press on execute. And after those are executed, you will see that those will be like put on progress. Okay, that means that all of the things or all of the service that you need through MySQL and also Oracle are being progressed and also downloaded on your PC. Now the next thing after all of them is downloaded, the server and the shell, the next thing I'm going to do is fix up our server. Click on next, and then you will see the select feature to install. Select the features which you want to use, and you can see the features which you selected are now selected, and you will be able to install them. Click on next again and press on execute again, and those will be installed like in a couple of seconds, because obviously all of the data and all of the service that you needed to download is already like downloaded. And now what it is doing is installing all of those on your PC so that it can be put on practical work. Now, after all of it is configured, press on next, and then you'll be able to select the config type, then the connectivity and TCP and all of those. Well, this is a bit different, okay? Because this is how you'll be able to configure all of your things and all of MySQL. First off, I'm going to do is click on this config type, press on this dedicated computer or where you want to work with. Well, we can say that I can use development machine. So go down and you'll be able to use this development computer, which is also your machine. Make sure to click on this TCP IP because obviously you're going to need a server, and click on the port number. And you can see this is 3,306, and also X protocol port is 33, like 30,000, like 33,060. Then make sure to open Windows Firewall ports for network access and keep it to be MySQL. And if you want to like select on this named pipe and shared memory, you can do that. But if you don't want that, just click on that option and press on this. So I'm going to do is show advanced and logging options. Okay, if you want that. So here, what you can also do is change the server or change the TCP IP. Okay, because obviously all of the things are going through your specific IP. So here, what I'm going to do is click on next, keep it on 3000. And then what you're going to do is going to be select on accounts and roles. But here's going to be our authenticating method. So I'm going to click on use strong password and all of those. But you can also select use legacy authentication method, which is retain MySQL compatibility. But here I'm going to keep it to be the same. Click on next, and then you'll be able to fix out your MySQL root password. So let's say my password is going to be QWERTYUIOP. And I'm going to do the same thing of repeat password. You can do that too. But here I'm going to do is type in something else. Let's say I'm going to type in password. And if it's still showing you this error that these passwords do not match. Now, as we have put in our password, I'm going to click on next, and then you're going to keep it like this, standard system account. Click on next, and yes, grant full access. Now I'm going to click on next again. And then from here, what you're going to do is select a couple of things. So I'm going to do is select most of the things up till database, okay? So I'm going to click on these. So I'm going to click on logs and configuration, whichever one you want. You can see that if it's not being selected, then you did some mistakes. Now from here, I'm going to click on execute, and you can see it will do all of the work on its own. And you will see that it will start the server to applying security settings and all of those, and click on finish. And after it is finished, you can see that it will look like this and everything is done. So the next thing we're going to do is open up the database. So if you want to do that, click on your start button, and from there what you're going to do is start for MySQL. You can see command line client. So I'm going to do is open it up, and I can see it will open up. Then I'm going to do is put in my password 34578, hit on enter, and now you can see that MySQL has opened up. Then what you're gonna do is like put in our commands in our database, because now we are all connected to MySQL. So we're gonna do is create our database in the CMD. So make sure to like open up CMD, but you will also see that it will open up directly. Then I'm gonna do is press on create database. Then I'm going to put in, let's say, Tom Hank. Let's just type in Tom Hank. And the next thing I'm going to do is finish it off with semicolon. Then it will create our database in our server and keep track of it. So I'm going to click on, hit on enter, and now you can see query okay. One row is affected. So as our affected, like row is affected in 0.00 seconds, so our database is now put and also in our SQL command. So this is how basically MySQL works. Then you can put in more database if you want to. Then what we're going to do is open up or install PopSQL. But here what we're going to do is make sure to minimize it and use it for later purpose. I'm going to do is cut this off too, because I don't need it anymore. Then what I'm going to do is search for PopSQL, which is like kind of the same, but you're going to need it. PopSQL download. Click on this and you will see popsql.com will open up. From here, I'm going to click on download. After it is downloaded, I'm going to do is open it up. You can see that PopSQL is also opening up and the installation process has begun. Now, what I'm going to do is do a couple of things which you are going to require. So here, allow the access. Then what you're going to do is wait for it to open it up. And then what you're going to do is access into the database which you created with MySQL, because all of the servers are connected. Then let's say I'm going to do is sign it with Google or whichever email you want. Now, after it is like done, I'm going to click on return to PopSQL, open PopSQL. And as it opens up, so I'm going to do is like log in, and then let's say I'm going to type in the organization name. Let's say I'm going to put in Trilogy. How big is the company selected? Let's say I'm going to keep it to be 100, 1 to 250. Click on create, and then name the mail and all of those all together and send the invitation. But you can also skip this. So I'm going to click on skip, and then what's your role? Fix it. Let's say I'm going to do is data engineer or data analyzer. You can use whichever one you want. What do you find about wherever? Just select all of those and fill those up. Let's say I'm going to do is select on intermediate. Purchase live timeline to purchase PopSQL. I'm here for the free plan. If you want to use it for free, but you also have like free plans over here, you can use free plans and also just trying it out. That's like totally up to you. So I'm going to click on this, press on next. And then let's say as we are going to do a lot of data collection, but if you want to use others, just click on others and press on OK. And then you're going to do is start querying. And after a while, you can see PopSQL has opened up, and it is a lot like the codings which you see in VSC, which is Visual Studio Code and all of those. The next thing what you're going to do is, if you are not signed in, then log in and all of those, then select on the database which you want to use, and then you're going to do it. But if it doesn't open up, what you're going to do is open it up with, individual database. You can connect your database like however you want to. Let's say if you go to query and you can press on run, it will run your database, which you can see from over here that it has run my database, which is over here, the name, and also all of those which are open on my PC. Well, this is a bit different, okay? So from here, you can see that we have 100 rows for the free plan. You can use 100 rows and all of those. Now, another thing you have to keep in mind that make sure to keep the CMD open, which is this command client, okay? Only then if you like log in directly, it will take you or open up the database which you are working on. But if you want a new query, just press on new query and then add it up. And you also have this notebooks, DBT, schemas, and then dashboard queries and all of those. You also have search. You can search it up over here. And eventually this is like already open. You can like query, open it up. You can also import it from wherever you want, but if you don't want it, you can just keep it like this. And then you are good to go with MySQL and PopSQL. So let's move on to the next lesson.